Lewis Art for the Ring magazine here with Brian Norman Sr. as his son takes on Devin Haney on Saturday. Brian, good to be speaking to you again. How's things? How are you?
Hey, man, good to see you again. Good to see you again. Everything's good. Everything's good. We got through these 4 months with no hiccups. Everything is perfect, like amazingly perfect. So, I mean, I think we got like 5 days to go. We at the finish line.
As I say, Brian mentioned it there in the interview. Whenever he's almost been getting out of the ring, there's almost been the focus of getting back in it. He's kept active this year. How of a benefit have you seen in training camp that being to him?
Ask that question one more time.
How much of a benefit has it been? Has it been with Brian being so active this year?
Oh, how much of a benefit? I just like it from a mental standpoint. His mental went to a new level. His mental went to a new level last year, but then by his mental going to a new level and him getting to be able to put it in action and being tested so quick, I think that's the best thing about it. So it's like you can think something, but you got to be tested. You can feel something, but you got to be tested. You understand? Under pressure. So he was able to do that even with this situation, even with the situations leading up to this event, November the 22nd. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that happen, a lot of wordplay, a lot of things going on outside the scenes or whatever else that was just testing his mental. You know what I mean? And it's holding strong. So I'm good with it. I love it. I love it.
And saw the sort of scenes for training camp. How have you guys found it back over in Georgia as well? And some familiar surroundings, I guess. How have you found that this training camp being in there?
I feel great about that. We went to Big Bear shortly for the last one. Then we went to LA, certain spots in California for the last one. Then we was back in Georgia. I mean, it's wonderful. It's perfect. I mean, you really got everything you need at home. A lot of the traveling that we do and we did through time was for his mental. It was for him to lock in. It was for him to see different styles. It was for him to get different work from upper tier fighters, as they say, because they like to say there's not a lot of good fighters in the South. So you want to go out into the world and see what the world has to offer. You know what I mean? So again, we already see what the world has to offer. He's a world champion, so he's the best. He's one of the best in the world, and arguably right now the best welterweight in the world, which is why Devin Haney is going after him. So I mean, we did the work, we did the job. Now we get the better fruits of our work.
Are you expecting anything from the Haneys this week, I guess, in terms of talking?
I don't care. I don't care about nothing they got going on. Nothing. They can't touch me. We beat them up in the media. I beat Bill Haney up, and when I say I beat him up, I mean I made him go ghost. That was like everybody was talking, the build up to this fight with the fathers and the Bill Haney and the Norman Sr. and there was no fight. I knocked him out, just like my son about to knock his son out. I knocked Bill Haney out at the start of this whole situation. He went missing. He tried to come back. I knocked him out again. I don't know if anybody knows or been following what's been going on social media, but he kept coming and kept going away. Kept coming and kept going away. He couldn't stand the pressure. That's where the test come in at. My son, when the interviews came out from the DAZN and all the other July things, when we did the interviews, my son beat his son in the media because his son has no personality. His son is a faker like his father. You know what I mean? His father just put out he just made a quote when we got here that came from a 1990 rap song, as if I wasn't born in 1990.
Yeah, so when you talk about back and forth, it's just like that you don't think Bill's got anything for you.
He has nothing for me. There is no back and forth. The back and forth is very scarce and it's sporadic because what he does is, even when you look at his some of the interviews that the Zone did and maybe the Ring did when they did the on the ground interviews or whatever else, you'll see him in the interviews saying, "Don't get afraid." Now,
that's what he said. Yeah,
it's literally laughable because I don't see anything to be afraid of. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, what did you do in this video that was supposed to scare me? So it's really more of a confidence booster to me, because I'm like, if you really believe that if you talk about levels, if your level of thinking tells you that what you did in this video, what the preparation that you're making is going to be good enough to beat Brian Norman Jr., hands up to you. You understand what I'm saying? Because for me, that's even better.
I know he was built, like, the Haney was talking about something about, like, them paying more your sparring partners or whatnot.
Yeah. That was but that ended up not taking fruition. We lost a sparring partner because Bill Haney tried to steal the sparring partner. But I don't know what happened on their end. He might have got beat up by Haney. I mean, he might have got beat up by the guy. I don't know. Maybe they thought he was going to be too tough for sparring. I don't know why they ended up not getting him, but the guy ended up not getting got by me or him. They called us, and the guy who we asked, his manager called us back and said that Bill Haney called in and made a better offer. And see, did we want to counter? Absolutely not. Why would we want to counter Bill Haney? Yeah. You're in contact with Bill Haney. We want nothing to do with you. You're in contact with Bill Haney. We don't want anything whatsoever to do with you, and we never will. So if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to say, your counter, you can go ahead and just go with Bill Haney. But then again, that's what ended up not happening. He took some of the fighters that he took. You can even look at the fighters he took. Respect to the fighters. I respect any fighter that step in the ring. Charles Conwell, coming off of a loss. He was literally weighing over 200 pounds when you saw him in the video. Charles Conwell's face was so big you could barely recognize who he was. That didn't even look like the same person. So you get a out of shape. That's no disrespect to Charles Conwell, because I mean, fighters do that sometimes when they get out of shape. He's an older guy, you know what I'm saying? He has a life to live or whatever the case may be, but he's out living his life, and you go get a Charles Conwell because of the name. So you go get a not so ready Charles Conwell, you get a not so ready Troy Isley because he don't have a fight coming up. Mm-hmm. Troy's not in training camp. Troy's not in upper tier. You know what I'm saying? He's not a big puncher. He got 5 knockouts out of his fights. Troy got 69-inch reach. Nothing about Troy Isley says Brian Norman Jr. Again, no disrespect to either one of those fighters. I'm not here to disrespect fighters. Mm-hmm. Kevin Newman, I will disrespect him because I got on the line with him and he called himself talking trash. Kevin Newman has been beat by lesser fighters. Fighters that of course matters to Devin Haney. Fighters we don't even know. We've never heard of these guys. Kevin Newman was beat by these fighters. You understand what I'm saying? I love your coach, Roy Jones. That's my dog. You feel what I'm saying? But I don't like you. Kevin Newman jumped on the live and tried to discredit my son's amateur career. He didn't even realize my son was so young. Yeah. He didn't realize that my son was as young as he was. He didn't realize my son didn't fight amateurs with him. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, nothing that Bill Haney did impressed me. And the fact that he thought it would scare me was the biggest caveat, because I'm like, if you're serious and you really believe you scare me with what you're doing, your standards are very low. And that just makes me feel just as much better. You really don't have it.
Do you think Devin can't think for himself? I know Junior said it, but do you think that as well?
Yes. Do I say he can't think for himself? Of course, everybody can think for himself, but he's very limited. Mm-hmm. He's very limited. You got to understand, I'm a father. I raised 2 sons. I raised, a lot of kids total by myself, but I raised 2 sons specifically, so it takes a lot to raise a man, to be a man's man. And I can clearly see Devin wasn't raised to be a man's man. You understand what I'm saying? I can see the way he operates. Men don't allow other men to do certain things. You understand what I'm saying? A man thinks for himself. Yeah. A man does things for himself. A man doesn't want yes men. You have Devin Haney, when you saw him in his underground and everything else, the one thing that you notice about him is he has a lot of people doing things for him. That's not a man. Yeah. That's not what men do. You understand what I'm saying? When you do that, a real father will let you know that you need to do things by yourself, son, especially at a young age. Yeah. You got to build a mental fortitude. He's not even 30 years old. So if you're not even doing things for yourself and you're being lazy in that magnitude, then what else is going to make you a man? How are you going to teach your child and your son, if you have one, when he come up to be a man? How does that work? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Brian Norman Jr. was taught off hard work. If you hear him speak, he speaks about hard work. He speaks about discipline. He speaks about knowing thyself. It was amazing to hear my son speak, because he's, like he said, he was speaking right. It was me speaking right through him. I literally hear the words that I say to him come out his mouth. And that's an amazing feat to hear. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just glad that he's picking up on what I'm saying.
Yeah, look, before I do let you go, I've got to ask you, look, Brian said that he thinks he's going to take Devin Haney's head off. You fully expect that on Saturday night?
I do. I watched Devin Haney. I watched Devin Haney so much that I'm sick of watching Devin Haney. Usually, I mean, because we had so long. I had 4 months to watch Devin Haney. I had 4 months to study Devin Haney. I've never had this long to study any other fighter ever since he's been fighting. I've never had this long to study another fighter. From the first time me watching Devin Haney from a competitor standpoint, when you watch him, it's a difference when you watch him from a fan standpoint and when you watch him from a I'm a fight you standpoint. You understand? So watching him from a right. So when I watch him from a fan standpoint, he was fine. He beat this guy. He did this. He did that. Oh, cool. Whoop-de-doo. We got it. Yeah, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Regis program. Oh, amazing the performance. I see the plan. I see the gameplay. It was a perfect plan, perfectly executed plan. I'm on record as saying all of that. Great. But then when you go back and you watch him as a competitor and you start to break down and simplify what's going on and you start to simplify what's actually happening, you start to simplify and put in perspective of how it's happening, why it's happening, and what's going on, then you see things different. You start to realize, okay, what are the similarities here? These guys are older guys. What are the similarities here? These guys are small guys. What are the similarities here? These guys have like significantly less reach. Significantly less reach. What are the similarities here? These guys are straightforward fighters, just like he said about us. They're straightforward, over the hill, flat-footed, small guys. Our guys were not over the hill. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So our guys were not old, over the hill. You know what I mean? Our guys had punching power. Our guys had knockout ratio. Their guys did not. His guys did not. So I'll quit again. As I'm looking at it from a training standpoint and from a competitive standpoint, it's not so impressive. It's not so impressive. And then when I see it, I watched enough, you know, because I hate to overlook my opponent. Yeah. So I looked at what I could look at, and that was it. I done the work. I did the job, and I seen what I needed to see. And we have something for every single thing I seen him do under the lights where it mattered.
Brilliant stuff. Look, the Normans are ready for November 22nd.
We are absolutely ready for November the 22nd.
And we look forward to it. Brian, always a pleasure, mate. Appreciate the time.
All right, appreciate you.
Cheers.